Hello, world. Can you hear me? My mother's getting coffee, so I am working on the crossword. Let's see. Easy does it, bra brand. I got nothing. Like some arguments. Oh. Jedi specialty. Something force. No, that will not spell force. What is that? Good morning, thank you. I finished it the other day. It took me about 4 days this time to do it. But I finished it. It went honestly a lot faster. Like I went over the course of 4 days this time, but it felt like it went a lot faster and smoother because some of those days I split up a lot of stuff. So the first day I just like washed and super detangled my hair, and then which took like a few hours. And then the second day I twisted all of my hair up. So like just my hair, I twisted all of my hair up. And then the third and fourth day I put in the braids. But my hair is much longer than I thought that it was, because I think the last time I yarn braids, you can see where like my hair ends, and it actually goes to about here. Like the longest like tails of my hair goes to about here. I think the last time that I did my hair, it was like my hair stopped like up here. And so I was like, and all the times that I've done yarn braids previous, my hair was like up here. Like it was, my hair was like short. And so I was doing the braids and I was like, when is my hair gonna stop? When is it just yarn? When does my hair stop? That's what took, like, I feel like the longest amount of time. I'm happy with the colors though. I picked out the colors and looked at the yarn. I'm like, this looks cute. And then I started putting it in my hair. And I'm like, this looks awful. And then I finished it and I'm like, okay, I can vibe with it. Well, I wasn't sure. I was going for like beachy with the blue and green, but also like mermaidy, which is why I grabbed the purple. And this is a sparkly purple. If I can get it to, will it glisten? Oh, maybe if I turn the light off, you can maybe see the sparkle. Oh, you actually can see the sparkle a bit better when I turn the light off. It's got like, what is the word? Iridescent, whatever they put in yarn to make it sparkly. I keep wanting to say streamers, and that's not the word. But you know what I mean. If you've ever seen sparkly yarn, there's like the yarn part, and then there's an extra string of sparkle. That is what is in here. And then the black to just make sure that it's not too bright. Because I didn't want it to be like, I knew that I was picking a lot of bright colors, and so I got the black to darken it up. I was worried when I first started putting it in that having the black in there was just going to make it look like I ran out of yarn of the other colors, which I most certainly did not. If I lean, I still have like, that is all of the colors that I used. The blue is underneath in the middle there because it kept like falling off of the chair in both directions. So I just kind of, but the blue is underneath in the middle there. The black, I didn't do a full thing of black because I was also going to use that black yarn for my dress. But yeah, I did not run out of anything. I was afraid the black was going to make it look like that, but I don't think it did because I used a little less black than everything else, and I made sure to kind of sparse it out enough that it's not like, oh, I started at the back of my head, and then when I got to the top of my head, I ran out of yarn. I think it looks pretty decent. I don't know how I feel about my parting job. I like it better in this little side part. When I was twisting it, I did a middle part, but I don't know how it ended up like closer on this side than it did on this side. There's one black braid up here, but it gives the illusion that this side is very close and this side is not. And I don't know why or how to fix it. And they're fairly long. They came down to here. I wanted to do them a bit longer, but also I didn't want to take the time to do that because it already took me 4 days just to do this. And I think if my hair had been shorter and I didn't have to spend as much time trying to tuck my hair in to make sure that it was braided up properly, then the rest of it, because once you get down to just yarn, it goes so fast. It's just braiding, it goes so fast. But doing up here, I have to make sure that I'm grabbing the hair, make sure that it's like enough, and then when I get to where my hair ends, I have to resplit it, because up here my hair is like one of the thirds of the braid for part of it, and then I have to resplit it. Actually, I resplit it about here. I have to resplit it so that the hair is just integrated into one of the braid sections, if that makes sense. And so it's the hair part is what takes a long time. Let me take a look at it. Let me use my brains. Let's put us back over here. There you go. Viewpoints. Oh, let's see. Data analysts' findings. Bit of garnish. What do they use for garnish? I don't know. The Lego Movie co-director. What? Let's go back to horizontal. The popcorn flick one feels like it should be simple. I just don't. Popcorn flick. Ooh, I don't know. She came between David and Boris. Who are David and Boris? I feel like that would solve a lot for us. Service that might be provided at the gym. What do they do at the gym?
David
Hello,
and
Mother.
Boris were prime ministers. But I
Okay.
can't remember who's in between them.
Me either. You doing all right? The way my camera is set up, you're like right behind my laptop, so I have to like lean.
Oh, poor baby.
It's about to be worse because when I bring in the Instagram, then everything's gonna get shifted to the side. Let me go ahead and do that.
I was gonna type it in chat who David and Boris were, but I'm like, you know what?
Already here.
I can't.
Okay. Instagram. And
Oh, good Lord.
sharing things on Instagram, live video. Coffee Klatsch.
Okay, if you're talking, I can't hear you.
That's not my fault. The world can hear me. What are you talking about?
Saying words.
This is me saying
Apparently that
words.
doesn't work. Let's try this.
Okay. Make it public. And next. Let me readjust this. There we go. Because then I can line up, I think, to where I can just see. I figured that you could hear us both, Ronald. I think she's just having headphones issues, so she can't hear me. Stream key.
My stomach hurts so much. I gotta get some food in my belly.
Oh, well, eat something then. I'll do the intro today.
Do you have a book for the intro today?
No, I was just gonna wing it.
Oh my gosh. Let's hope this is edible. I'm eating something new.
Ooh. What are you eating this new? What do you mean? I hope that it's edible.
Well, I mean, new to me.
Ronald's is eating the first thing I do when I wake up. I go straight to the kitchen from bed. That's funny.
Well, see, I wake up and have my quiet time in bed, stretching my legs out, reading, all that. And some mornings, my stomach says to me, as soon as I sit up, you need to go get food. But I didn't listen to it this morning. I was like, oh, I'm gonna be getting up early today. So I don't need to run downstairs right now. I got an hour. And my stomach said, no, you do not have an hour. You need to go get food now. And I continue to ignore it.
The first thing I did today was get bit by my dog.
Oh no.
Yeah, she has a collar on. This is gonna be the last thing I say, and then I'll start the stream. But on Instagram. But she was wearing a collar, but I think her collar like got wet at some point or something. So it was like irritating. You could see there's a spot where it's like irritating on her neck. And so we were like, okay, we need to take this collar off and put a harness on, because the harness sits on her chest down here. So it's not gonna rub that spot that got irritated. The problem is the last time, she isn't normally bitey. It's the problem. She's a rescue, and so she does have her issues, but we've like figured out these issues and usually work around them. The problem is last time that we had a harness on her, and part of the reason that we switched to a collar is because last time we had a harness on her, we were going to like take the harness off, or it was either we were putting it on or taking it off. I think we were taking it off, and she like saw something and like jumped and moved, and so her arm got stuck and like pinned in the harness like this. Yeah. And so she freaked out because she couldn't move. And so now anytime that we try to put a harness on her, she freaks out because she thinks that she's going to get stuck again, and she's scared. And so she doesn't like, if she has the harness on, I can unclick the harness because it doesn't make a loud clicking noise, but she recognizes the clicking noise of the harness. It's the same clicking noise of the collar too. So putting a collar on her is also not fun. But she, so we put the harness on her yesterday, and I've got like a bruise on my arm that you can almost see from her, like, because she doesn't like bite. She does the dog thing of she'll put her mouth around you to scare you. Mm-hmm. But I am also in the process of jerking my arm away so that she doesn't do that. Anyway, so we put the harness on her yesterday, but it was too loose. And we were like, okay, we'll just tighten it up a little bit later. She's doing fine. But at some point she laid down to take a nap and swoop, slipped her leg out so that the part of the harness that's supposed to be on the bottom on her like chest and tummy is on her side now. And she wasn't like uncomfortable, but it was not in a good place. It needed to be readjusted so that it didn't get worse later on. And so this morning she was sleeping with me. And we slept in the office because I knew I was going to try to do this morning. We were sleeping in the office, and while she was sleeping, because I didn't want her to be in the same room as the other dog. And so while she was sleeping, I click, and unpopped the two like back sides of the harness so that I could swing it around her front. And so it was resting here. And then I just needed to pull the straps around and re-click them around her back. So I click. And then I was like petting her, playing, but also like tightening it. While she was like, oh, I'm just getting so many kisses this morning. I like tightened it up, and then I called Wayne in, and Wayne came in and had treats. And so Wayne like had the treat. He's like, you want the treat? And as he would give her the treat, as soon as she clamped down on the treat, I like click, and she's like, what? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't do anything. I'm just sitting here. What are you talking about? And then he like gave her another like big treat because this is the last one. And went click, and she was like, ah. And I'm like, girl, what you doing? I didn't do nothing. And she's like, I guess you didn't do anything, but I don't trust it. And so that is how I got bit by my dog this morning.
You're so weird.
What? Isn't that how everyone puts a harness on their dog?
Whatever.
Okay.
We're going to get this show on the road.
Yes, I have the...
Do you really want to do the intro, or you want me to do it?
I can do the intro.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Everybody ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We are going live in 3, 2. It's loading. It's loading. And we are live on Instagram. Welcome, everyone, to the Wednesday Coffee Klatsch. I am Artemis, the fatigued, and this is my partner in crime.
Dani, the wilted woman.
And we are...
Dani, the wilted woman.
There's a delay. The one time I do the intro, there's a delay. Anyway, we are here for when you are doing your dishes, for when you're sending those children off to summer camp because you wanted them to be in school, but that doesn't last year round here for some reason. Or, you know, your audio ambiance, your background sound. And you, little Oliver, if you're a kitten that was left in a box on the side of the road and all the other kittens got adopted, and you're looking around, you're wondering what's going to happen while you're running through the streets of New York City, don't worry. It's okay. You're going to get adopted by a family of dogs, and they're going to love you, and you're going to become one of the pack. That, friends, is the plot of Oliver and Company.
I was just about to ask.
Once upon a time in New York City.
My other guess was All Dogs Go to Heaven. I haven't seen either one. No, Oliver and Company is a movie, and I think Billy Joel did some of the music for that movie.
Yes, he did. He did. Why should I worry? Why should I worry? Why should I care? It's just due population. I got street savoir-faire. Why should I worry? Great movie. Great song.
Yeah, school is already back. Kids are. I'm already seeing teachers on TikTok doing their little fixing up their rooms because school is going to be back next week.
The 7th. I thought we still had like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
You would think. I think you're thinking of that because when you were little, North Carolina put in a thing saying that you cannot go back to school before August 29th because the businesses were complaining about how, I remember it clearly because we were going to send you guys to camp and it interfered with school or something. And then the year after that, they put in the thing where you have to, you can't go to school. You cannot go to school before 29th. So none of the schools here start before the 29th. I guess unless they're doing year-round school, because there are some year-round schools here in North Carolina.
Ooh, fancy.
I think up in the Raleigh area, but for the most part, if you have traditionally set school, you're not supposed to start before the 29th, and you end in May, so that the business, so that all the amusement parks and camps and all that kind of stuff can make their money.
Big summer blowout.
So since this is the Coffee Klatsch, let's start off. What are we eating and drinking?
I am once again in my Moomin cup. I am drinking the lavender limoncello tea from Asheville Tea Company. Get some. It's
not
delicious.
Sponsored.
Not sponsored. I just love them. They're delicious.
I really need to get some of that. I am drinking my Cafe Bustelo instant espresso with a top up of some mushroom coffee. Mm-hmm. And your sister just texted me yesterday, said, how you doing on mushroom coffee? I said, I'm just about out. I keep telling her she does not need to spend her money buying me this fancy coffee, but
literally, so there was the one day that we were talking about the coffee and my friend Hunter was in the Instagram chat and he was like, what mushrooms are in the coffee? Because of that one day, I now get advertisements for it, because the one that you have is like the dose or something, right?
Yes.
Or whatever it's called.
Oh, and you looked it up every day.
Yes.
You looked it up.
Everyday dose. And now all day, every day, I am getting advertisements for everyday dose. And I'm so mad that I like the mushroom coffee, sure, whatever. The one thing that I'm very frustrated about in the everyday dose commercials is they have a clip of a girl pouring something into her drink and stirring it up, and it looks all sparkly and magical. And then I look up the actual coffee and I'm like, you could have just put some edible glitter in the coffee if you were going to do that in the commercial, because having sparkly coffee makes me want to get the coffee. I would buy a clear cup and alternate between my Moomin and my clear cup so I could put my sparkly mushroom coffee in my cup. But no, it's just regular dirt brown coffee. And it makes me upset. Because it looks so magical.
But I found the lid to my travel cup. And then I lost the lid to my other cup. You know, the one that has my affirmation on the front that your father bought me. Lost the lid to that cup.
Are the lids not interchangeable?
No. Ooh. No. But I'm glad I found the lid to this one at least, because it helps me from spilling, because I've been spilling coffee coming upstairs. So I need this. And I've got French vanilla creamer, my garden variety. I am eating what I said was new to me. I don't know if you can see it.
Ooh, it looks fancy.
You know, your father works in the airport.
Yes. And I know my father works in the airport. Does the world know? You say it like
he works near the his concourse that he works on at night is near the food court. And occasionally when they're clearing up for the night, because not all those places stay open like 24 hours. Some of them, you know, do their refresh at night while he's there. And so sometimes he'll get free sandwiches or something like that because they're clearing out their stuff to get ready for the next day. And they would just throw it out otherwise. And so Starbucks gave him some, I guess they do these breakfast bite squares. They're about that big. And there's 2 of them in a pack. And they're, the one I have today is egg, potato, onions, and ham.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. I'm not really an egg person, but if I were to eat something with egg, that is probably what I would eat. Except add some cheese. Is there no cheese on it?
There's no cheese, but I put my taco sauce on it. But you're right. That's the one element that I normally put in my eggs. I normally put cheese. But I have 2 more things down there that I'm probably going to finish up today because they were clearing them out. So I'm not going to let them sit in there another day. So I'll probably melt some cheese on the other ones just to make them taste different, because I get bored if I eat the same things over and over.
Yep, same. All right. So are we...
What are we talking about? Who's this person? Who's what person? How would this game work, Ari?
We could have a mystery person like come into the chat, but like have their camera off. And we'd be like, we have our mystery guest. Can you guess who this person is?
Okay, that sounds too much like What's My Line?
What's my line?
Okay, you are too young. Never mind. Let's move on. What's My Line was a game show from when TV was black and white and grainy, and they would have a person come in. Sometimes I think they've done a modern version now that I think about it, but I think they might call it something different with Anthony Anderson. But no, the one with Anthony Anderson is slightly different. There's two different game shows that were similar. What's My Line was you'd have one person sitting there, and there'd be 3 celebrity guests, and they would ask the person questions to try to figure out what their job was.
Okay.
And then there's another one that's just as old as that one, but they did a remake of it with Anthony Anderson, and I cannot remember the name of it. But it's 3. You've got 3 celebrity guests over here who ask questions. You have 3 people here, and it's like one of them is an Olympic gymnast, and you're trying to figure out which person is the Olympic
all
3 of them say, okay, I'm an Olympic gymnast. I'm an Olympic gymnast. I'm an Olympic gymnast. And then the celebrities ask questions. But 2 of them are lying and one of them's telling the truth.
Rhett and Link definitely did a thing like this multiple times on their show of like, which one of these people is a professional clown or something, and they've got 3 people like off the street.
Because it's it's a very old game show. I can't remember the name of that one, but I was thinking more of What's My Line.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Ari, was whose line it is anyways. And I was like, This doesn't sound like Whose Line Is It anyways?
No, Whose Line Is It anyways is improv. But anyway, so do we want to get into our life updates?
Sure. Oh, I didn't change the music to the regular music because I was so busy trying to remember the plot of Oliver and Company. Okay. Life updates. Did I write anything down? I did not. Have I done anything? Oh, I just yesterday had a private henna appointment and it went very well. Cool. It was this lady, she's about to go on a trip to the desert and she wanted to have the tops of her feet hennaed. And so I went out to her house. It wasn't too far away from me. It was about 30 minutes away. And we sat out in her like studio. So she has like the house, and then like down across the yard, there's like a little shed that got turned into a studio. And so we sat out in the studio, and we just like, I just sat on the floor with like a pillow on my lap. She put her foot up on my on the pillow, and we like left the door open. A bird almost flew into the shed at one point. But we left the door open. She had like a nice little fan going, so it was like a nice comfy breeze. I was wearing a crop top like this. It was just a nice like comfy breeze. She had some like music playing on her phone. She made me some tea that was very good. She was like, "What kind of tea do you like? Caffeine or no caffeine?" And I was like, "I'll do no caffeine because I had a coffee day." And it was a nice, I think it was a mint tea. It tasted like some sort of mint tea. Mm-hmm. It was very good. I forgot to catch the name of the tea. And she had like a proper teapot that she had sitting on a tray that like when I finished my little cup of tea that looked like a proper like pottery, like she knew a pottery friend that made this cup. Like she had this little cup of tea, and then when I finished my cup of tea, she would pick up the teapot and just like shh, and pour me some more tea, and so fancy. And then she had next to it a little ceramic bowl of like dried fruits. The other fruits I didn't know what they were, so I wasn't going to try any new food while I'm working on the job. But she did also have dried mango, and so in between, like I did like half of the first foot and then like nibble it on some dry mango and like stretch my leg a little bit, and then we did the second half and I nibbled on the mango and let Wayne know that I wasn't murdered by some rando at their house, and like ate some more mango and like did the other part. So it was nice and chill. It was fun talking to her. She like originally lived in California, moved out here. She's a costumer is what she does for her life.
You know what vision this brings up for me?
What?
Some sort of like rich royal person in some sort of like, I don't want to say anything that's, you know, culturally insensitive, but you know, when you watch some of those movies or whatever, and they're out in the desert and they're out in this big tent, but it's like glamping, and they've got all these pillows. Yes. They got all these pillows, and the person being worked on is just laid out on the pillows, and then someone's at their foot, and then somebody else is fanning them, and they're having a little bit of fruit from a dish. And then someone comes in to petition them, "Oh, my lady, would you please grant me the land to the east because I need it for my farm," or whatever.
It was like that, but the fan was electric, and she was not lounging. She was sitting on a stool. There were a lot of paintings and half-finished paintings around, and I got paid $50.
I hope the people had all their clothes on in the paintings.
They just looked like face paintings for the most part to me, because they were like kind of stacked on top of each other, so I could see like the front portraits, and then just like the edges of no artsy stuff. But it was fun. It was a nice little area. Other than that, have I done anything with my life? I had last Friday, it went pretty smoothly. It rained on us a little bit, but not like enough.
So you did go, because the last time we talked, you were like, we talked and you said it's about to rain, and you called the ladies and they were like, come anyway.
Yes. So earlier in the week, I messaged and was like, "Hey, my schedule says my weather app says rain," and she's like, "Here's a screenshot of my weather app. It says sunny all day." And I'm like, "Okay. I mean, I'm in Nashville. You're over in Mars Hill, so that's fine." And then the day of, I was like, "I just want to check in one more time because again, I'm in Nashville and it is currently about to rain. Like I could feel it." And she's like, "No, it's looking good over here. Go ahead and come on down." So I went down there. And it like basically I was sitting out from under the tree because the last, like every month I always sit directly under the tree and I get like spiders and bugs dropped on me. And I'm like, let me not sit under the tree. And so I shifted over so I'm not under the tree, and we were like in the sun and it was nice. And then it started to sprinkle. And I had like a line of kids, and it was like I still had an hour left to go. And I had a line of kids. So I was like, oh my goodness, it's starting to sprinkle. It's not too bad. I'm just going to shift over. And so I hopped up, moved my stuff, and this guy just like jumped in and helped me move the table. I shifted the whole table over. And then the line like reformed like where the move table was, and I just kept painting, and it sprinkled a couple times, but it wasn't enough like rain like they didn't break down the bouncy house. Like it just, everybody just stayed out because it wasn't enough for everybody to like go back inside. So I stayed the whole time, did that, got my little check, and then I went to the BIPOC market on Sunday. And it was a pretty decent BIPOC market, actually. I like got there and got set up, and right before I was finished getting set up, a lady came over and was like, hey, I would really love some face paint. And I'm like, okay. And she was like an adult lady, like my age. Or not they, I think. They were an adult person my age. And they were like, yeah, I would really like some face paint. And so I was like, hey, I also have henna if you want to do henna instead, because usually the older people, or like adult people, will want henna. But they were like, no, actually, I really just want some face paint, just something to adorn for the day and like something. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, is there something specific? And they're like, just go wild. And so I was like painting their face while we were talking about how they, because I had my tops on the table, and they're like, I just had top surgery, and I really want like top surgery to like flatten. And they're like, I really want to try wearing more tops like that. Huh?
I know what tops
are. In my head, the word top surgery can refer to flattening or unflattening for some reason. Isn't that?
Because if you were unflattening, you're getting a boob job.
But what if you had no boobs to begin with?
You're still getting a boob job.
Oh. I thought that top surgery was both. I am learning. Anyway, they just got top surgery, and they want to try wearing more like different tops now that they got, so we were talking about that. But I did just like a nice little flower. But so they got their face paint and then tipped me on top of that. And then the girl who was vending next to me is like, I actually want to get some face paint too, after seeing them get face paint. And so they came over. See, that's what I thought, Ronald. Ronald is confirming with me. That's what I thought.
Well, you young folks know better than me, so I'll just defer to you then.
Because I thought it was like, if you are getting vastly different from what you had, then it's top surgery. But like a boob job is, you have boobs and they're doing a job on your boobs. Is what I was thinking. Anyway. So the
person next to you.
The person next to me got face paint, and also I was able to buy some bug spray off of them, because remember last month how I got bitten up by sweat bees? Yes. They were back, and they were all over me, and I don't know what was going on.
Because you're delicious.
Apparently I am just a snack, because she came over to my table, and I was like, you had a good idea with the bug spray earlier, because she sprayed bug spray on herself earlier. And so I was like, you had a good idea with the bug spray earlier. The sweat bees are everywhere. And she's like, oh, well, I have some over here. You can have some. And so she, I was like, do you sell bug spray? Because she has like oils and natural things. And she's like, I don't, but my sister does. And I have some of her stuff in here. So I bought just like a tiny bottle of like natural bug spray with like citronella and stuff in it. And as I was spraying it on, she was like, you're right. They are all over you. She could see them just because they will like fly and land, and if you swat them away, they will just come back. It is the worst. And I'd already, like, as I was setting up, got bitten. But so I did that.
You are tasty.
I'm just a snack. What can I say? So I did that, and then all of the vendor kids came around and got their little face paint, and some of them got glitter tattoos and stuff. And one of the vendor kids was this lady does she's a baker, so she sells baked goods, and she had her granddaughters with her, and her youngest granddaughter is like 4-ish, and so she spends a lot of her time running around, screaming, being squirmy, and all kinds of stuff. But she saw the older girls getting face paint, and so she wanted to get her face paint. And so she sat down, and the older girls were like all around her to make sure she was sitting still, and her like sister was like holding her head in place so I could do her little butterfly. And her grandmother was so thankful that I did that. She paid me $5, and I'm like, you really don't have to do that. Like, it is super okay, because the kids running around doing face paint is like advertising. And so like, you really don't have to do that. It's okay. It is like the amount of paint that I'm using is Angela. It's fine. And she's like, no, I want to paint it. So she paid me $5, which for the butterfly, which is what I charged for the little kid butterfly. So that like basically paid for that entire tattoo. And then, or face paint. And then I sold, I need to make more of, remember the little popping mushrooms that I had? I just need to keep making more of those, because I sold 2 more of those that day. And then, I sold 1 stuffed animal, I think, but I don't remember what it was, and a bandana. Because they had posted pictures of my table from the last time I was there, and I had my bandana sitting on the table, and she saw the picture of the Granny Square bandana that I did in the Red Heart Super Saver retro stripe. And she saw it sitting on the table, and she's like, I saw this posted, and I was hoping that you were going to still have it when I got here. And so she bought the retro stripe bandana. So I think I might make some more in that colorway, because stuff in that colorway just seems to go pretty fast. I think that's just a popular colorway right now.
Popular color, I guess.
But that was my week. I think that is all the things that I did.
I haven't had much going on this week. We did. I didn't want crunching you guys' ear. I'm out of fruit, so I'm eating a Nutty Buddy stick because my stomach is still hurting. I gotta put some food down there to make it stop. We already talked about the shelf collapsing in
yes
the bedroom. Okay, so that was last week. Okay.
Yeah.
And I showed my phone on Friday, right? I showed the box.
You got the new phone on Friday, yes.
So I've got my new pretty phone. My case, I didn't open it until I got my case. So this is my case. I'm real happy with.
Oh, it's very cute.
Yes, it's very pretty. And it has not gotten hot since we were talking about it on Sunday. It hasn't gotten hot since, so I don't know what the deal was.
I'm also wondering if your phone just gets hot because you sit it in the blankets on your bed, like all the time.
Yeah. I had it up against, because I have that pillow thing that you can use to sit things on so that you don't have to hold it, and that's what I was using to put it up against while I was watching Love Island. So maybe that was it, that I just keep it sitting up against that, and it's not getting any breath. But I just wanted to mention I got the iPhone 12, by the way.
So
and I just wanted to mention that the battery life on this is awesome. Here's the other. Isn't that nice?
Oh, nice.
The battery life on it is awesome because it was, what's the word I want to say? I had it plugged into the charger the night before.
Exactly.
Ronald. Yes. Well, I mean, my first one was a 4, and then I went up to the 6, and honestly, I would have gone to the 7 if the 7 was available. This time around, as I'm upgrading, I would have gone to the 7, or maybe the 8, but the lowest one they were offering was the 11. And the only reason I didn't go with the 11, I was going to go with the 11 because it was cheaper than the 12. But the 12 was just $50 more because of my upgrade. I realized this phone still costs way more than that. I just was way due for an upgrade. At this point, Boost Mobile was messaging me literally every other day. I was getting a message from them saying, you should buy a new phone.
Hey girl, you know what phone you have. You need to upgrade.
They were starting to be a little annoying about it. But the only reason I didn't decided to go with the 12 is because I had done some reading and they said the 11 is not optimized for 5G.
Mm-hmm.
And so I figured I'd go ahead and do the 12 because I've noticed with our house internet, when I tried to, all of a sudden it decided to offer me a 5G option at some point. So we have the regular, and then we have the regular, 5G, but it says 5G at the end of it. And now when I try to just connect to the regular, it says, we really think you should connect to the 5G. Why don't you just hop on up to that 5G?
Let's hop on over.
Matter of fact, I'm not even going to let you look up this website till you hop on up to that 5G.
Just pretend as though the internet doesn't exist.
So, since the internet is saying that, I figured maybe my phone would start saying that too. So I just went ahead and got
the 5G one. Yeah,
got the 5G one. But I have one bar. No, I have 2 bars now, and that'll last for about a second, and then I'll have 1 bar. But I have not left the house with this phone, so I don't know. Maybe when I leave the house, I'll have
be better outside.
Bars. Maybe it's just something about the house.
Did you have better bars in the house with your old phone?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
yes, I did. I had full bars. I had all 4 bars.
That's weird because I finally went into the new Boost app to see if we were due for an upgrade too, which we are. Wayne and I are going to be replacing our phone soon for $20 total. We're just moving up to the next version of the phones that we have. But when I opened up the new app, they're like, this is the new Boost. We got the new, we're upgrading. Mm-hmm. But then they also, in that statement thing, said, you're going to have better signal everywhere. You're going to have access to so many cell towers, girly. And I'm like, are you adding new towers? Or are you just getting access to other people's towers?
I think Dish bought them because they used to be owned by Sprint. Sprint doesn't exist anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think currently they're owned by Dish. And they just made that announcement. We talked about it like 2-3 weeks ago. They made the announcement in Wired and Engadget, and everybody got the press release about them switching so that they're not just a prepaid company. They have the prepaid option, which is what we use, and they have the regular traditional postpaid option, like what you normally have with the cell phone company. And that's another reason I didn't go even further with the phone, because like the 11 and the 12 are available to buy flat out under the prepaid. You go up further than that with the iPhones and they're like, oh, get our postpaid plan and pay $2 a month to the end of your life for this phone, which is $1,000 phone. And I'm like, no, thank you.
Don't need it. Not already saying T-Mobile's going to take everyone over. But not if Ryan Reynolds has anything to say about it. He is always peddling that Mint Mobile.
Really, if they had not changed, I was this close to switching to Mint, because I keep seeing the Mint commercials and Boost was annoying me with that app. Mm-hmm. But I figured out the app was absolute trash and it made it difficult for you to do anything. But I also figured out that gamification is still in there. They just hid it way down in the app. It's not in your face with like when you first log on, and I'm fine if y'all want to still have that. And Ronald. If you still want to have that gamification and people who want it can seek it out, that's fine, but don't put it in my face.
Exactly.
Don't put it in my face to where I can't do anything else that I need for my phone, because you've got this thing saying, hey, look at all these ads and try all these games and get points and all this other crap. I don't want all that. I do not want all that. But yeah, also, so my phone was 100% at 8:30 yesterday morning, and I have not plugged it in since. I'm used to plugging my old phone up all day just because I can, because I'm home and I'm near a charger, so I just leave it plugged up.
I feel like I heard that that's bad for your phone battery.
It is, but I do it anyway because I'm always near something that I can charge.
Also, you own like 45 battery packs, so when we travel, you've got so
we have battery packs out the wazoo. But also when we go on vacation, I've noticed that my phone is almost always at 30%. It's like I will charge it up, we will leave the cabin, and by the time we get to the dining room, I'm at 30%. It's like my phone does not survive on vacation, my 6. But this one, I still have not plugged it up since yesterday, and it's at 40%.
Make sure you don't start plugging it up all day.
So it was at
battery life.
It was at 100% yesterday, and it's at 40% today. And I didn't plug it up last night when I went to bed. I have not plugged it up since 8:30 yesterday morning.
That's how your phone's
so this is really good for me. This is really good battery life. So, and your father said the same thing, because I was saying to him, hey, you were asking about the phone. I have noticed it's got the really good battery life. I'm still at 40%. Well, I was still at like 52% when he left this morning. And he said, well, make sure you don't plug it in, because he said the same thing you said. Make sure you don't plug it in. Wait till it goes all the way down before you plug it in to keep the battery life.
I don't plug my phone up until it's at like usually around 10%. Also, I remember
I had heard plug it in like at 20%.
I remember that I took pictures of the henna tattoo that I did on Monday. So these are the feet that I did.
Oh, nice.
Can I zoom?
Nice. You did a good job.
Thank you. I don't do feet very often.
I will refrain from commenting on the toes, but you did a good job.
And also, before I...
No, this is not a foot channel now.
Incorrect. Okay, so all those storms that we've been having the last couple weeks, I was sitting outside of Wayne's job the other day, and it was just lightning after lightning after lightning. I'm going to pull up this video. I'm going to have the sound off because you don't need the sound. But I was just recording out of my window of all of the lightning that was going off. It wasn't raining or anything. It was just like heat lightning, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, hang on. I was getting it pulled up and waiting for it to load. There we go. Okay. So hopefully it'll play. But it was... You see all of that lightning off in the...
I do see it all.
In the distance? It is just crackling and crackling and crackling.
I also see something...
It just keeps going and going.
Why do I see a reflection on this video? Was it the were you shooting it through your car window?
Because I'm in my car and my...
So it's the reflection
of my driver's side window doesn't go down. Yes.
Honestly, Spectrum hates this.
But it does. But this is like 2 full minutes of just this. I'm gonna stop before Spectrum. Spectrum hates lightning. We just spent all this time bashing Spectrum. They're like, no, don't do this to me. But I'll throw that video. I know what I'll do. I'll take the sound out and throw that video in Discord. Because the sound is just me and Wayne talking in the background. But it is a full 2 minutes of just lightning, like over and over.
I forgot I didn't turn the Wi-Fi off, so maybe it'll do better.
I think it was my Spectrum because I got the little notification. It's like, do you have Wi-Fi?
Are you sure you have Wi-Fi?
Exactly.
I worked last Friday, I think. I worked the whole time after we got done, and I had not even switched the Ethernet back to my work computer. And I didn't realize, so I was getting ready to go back in the bedroom and take this computer back in the bedroom, that I was still connected to the Ethernet. I was like, how did I work all day
without
Ethernet? Because usually my work computer over here complains.
The Spectrum is like, remember that. When you go to switch Wi-Fi, remember that day that I let you have it.
Crazy. So,
okay.
Are we ready to move on to crafty thoughts?
Yes, I will do mine first because I don't have very much to show.
Oh, honey, neither do I. I have nothing.
This will go quick, I guess. I have been thinking about making one thing and one thing only, and so I have been doing that. It's so far away. I've been making witch hats.
Yay! Because fall is coming up.
Exactly. So I've got this one, which is in that latte stripe. Mm-hmm. Such a cute colorway. I'm gonna. Got this one, and then I'm actually very happy with how this one turned out. This is.
It's so cute. What color is
yes, that? Let me pull it up closer. So this is the. I don't remember the colorway. In my head, this is the baby blanket colorway. Because it's all just like pastel rainbow colors. But specifically the kind that they would put on a baby blanket. But I did, when I was doing this, I did the pattern like I normally do, but I put it, every time I switched colors, I did that row, this is all half double crochet. And every time I switched colors.
Is that gray in between the pastel colors?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is half double crochet, but every time I switched colors, I would do that. I would do the color changed row in the third loop in the back, and so it makes kind of like a raised stripe, like raised little.
They call that back loop only, BLO.
But it's not back loop only because there's the V of the crochet. There's the front loop that's closest to you. There's the back loop that is closest to like the inside of the work or further away, and then there's a third loop that's under here. When you're doing half double crochet, there's a third loop.
Yeah,
I was doing it all in the third loop only.
So you're doing in that bottom loop.
Exactly. But for the brim, I dropped that and just did regular like color changing in stripes. Mm-hmm. I tried so hard to get rid of this color jog. I tried so hard to get rid of this color jog, and I just couldn't make it happen. Yeah, this would be like the back of the hat, so I think it would still look cute. Mm-hmm. But I just could not get rid of that color jog to save my life, because all of the methods that I know to get rid of the color jog are for single crochet. Because for the ones that I've seen, when you single crochet, when you pull up the color in the last stitch of the previous round. And then in the first stitch of the next round where you're starting with the new color, you do a slip stitch instead of a single crochet, and that like flattens it a little bit so there's not as much jog. But with half double crochet, that doesn't work. It just does not. It doesn't work because the half double crochet is taller than the single crochet, and so it just doesn't. It does not. But even with the jog, I like it. This is probably my favorite one that I've made. And then I liked the gray and pastel coloring, and so I did another one. I almost couldn't find.
I wonder if you did the half double crochet, and then the part, like you said, you do single crochet, and then you do a slip stitch to get rid of the jog. I wonder if you did half double crochet and then did a single crochet to get rid of the jog.
I might try that. I didn't think of that. I might try that with my next one, because I've got some other yarn that. Ooh, I wonder if I can reach that bag without destroying my entire setup. But this is the other one that I made. I'm going to reach for that bag. This is the other one that I made.
And Ronald, you can tell Melissa that's the extent of the crochet tips you got from us today.
But this one I did all in the pastel because I have a lot more of this that I have more gray. I just don't have it caked up and didn't feel like caking anything up, so I was working with the cake that I had. But I did a stripe here as if it was a hat band, and then did reverse single crochet around the brim because that's how I like to finish these hats. And I am really close to putting a yarn winder on my wish list this year. Do it. Put a yarn winder on your Christmas list. Do it.
I like the gray at the very end of the brim.
Me too. I wasn't really sure how I felt about it because looking up close at it, you can looking up close at it, you can kind of it's not as solid of a transition as I would like. Like I want it to
but
be
it still looks cute.
Yeah, I think looking at it overall as a hat, I think it looks cute. But I got some yarn at Walmart of all places.
I was thinking about buying some yarn at Walmart, but you could do yours first and then I'll talk.
I happened to be at Walmart buying. I had to buy the harness for the dog.
You had to buy the furnace for the dog?
Harness. The thing that I just had a whole conversation about this morning. But I had to buy the harness for the dog, and I saw 2 colors that I was like, ooh, those would make cute witch hats. And so I got, this is Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo Stripes in neon stripe. Are you ready for this?
Are you ready for it? I've seen that. Yes. Every time I see that, I feel like it's a neon version of that Mexicana that they used to have. I don't know if they still do Mexicana, but that reminds me of a neon version of Mexicana because it has all the rainbow and then the black in between. So yeah, I'd love to see how that works up.
Yeah, I mean, this is the next one
where the black
falls.
Like, yeah, where the black falls.
Because it's called Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo Stripes. So I imagine that we should have some solid striping until it gets too big for the stripes to line up, you know? So we'll see. But I got this one, and which that's going to be the next hat that I work out. So you'll hopefully see that on Wednesday. And then I got some Mainstays yarn.
I do like the Mainstays.
Mainstays
is supposed to be comparable to Red Heart Super Saver.
Yeah,
but if you put them side by side, and maybe it's the one thing about Mainstays, it is cheap, and part of that cheapness is that quality control I don't think is very consistent. Because sometimes I'll get a sometimes I'll get a skein of Mainstays that is straight on worsted weight, and sometimes it borders on DK, and sometimes it feels like Red Heart Super Saver, but other times it feels ever so slightly velvety.
Well, this does not feel like that, and the reason it does not feel like that is because Mainstays has sparkle yarn.
Yeah, I've seen that online, but I've not been in the Walmart to see it in person, but I've seen it on the website.
In Big and Me. This is...
See, if I could have found that in white last year for that thing that I was making for... I would have gotten that. Or even with this, because before I started making what I'm working on now for this year's vacation, I was like, well, maybe I can get something that's like white and has some sparkle in it, but I couldn't really find anything. If I could have found some black or some white with some sparkle in it that didn't cost $14 a skein, I would have gotten that. But does it feel rough?
It doesn't feel any rougher than any other sparkle yarn, in my opinion, because
I've never used a sparkle yarn. Do sparkle other than that red yarn I gave you, but that you refused to use.
We shall not talk about that. Because the thing that makes the sparkle yarn sparkly is tinsel. That's the word I was trying to think of earlier. I was talking about because I have sparkly yarn in my hair too. This purple tinsel is a sparkle.
Yeah, that's why I keep thinking the tinsel would make it rough.
It's not like rough, but it's like every once in a while you'll feel like a little bit of the like stiff plasticness,
the edge of the tinsel.
Yes. And so I was willing to put it in my hair. I am willing to put it in a hat. I don't know if I would wear like a top made of this. I would have to try it out.
Like a jackety thing, like what I'm making, which is gonna go over the top of a dress.
Yeah. Like if it's not gonna have like a ton of like rubbing friction contact with your skin, it'll probably be fine. But if it was like, if I was making like a long sleeve and my normal sleeve stops here and it's gonna be all like, I imagine it would be very itchy. I don't know. But this is the Mainstays Sparkle Acrylic Yarn in Rose Fumé. Rose Smoke? Rose Fumé. It's like a like a champagne-y color, but a little bit more pink.
Rose.
Well, that's what fumé is fumé in French is smoke. That's what I was like. It is kind of a smoky, like dusty rose color, actually.
Yeah.
So it's like a dusty, like champagne-y dusty rose. I guess not champagne because champagne is more yellow, isn't it? But yeah, it's a smoked rose color.
Okay.
But I like
I've been thinking of making what, but it has bad reviews. What are you thinking of making? Did I miss something?
Yes, thinking of making what?
I missed something. I feel like I'm hearing half a conversation.
I also think I missed something. Well, the other half of the conversation is our half of the conversation earlier. We just didn't notice the comments in time.
Oh no!
Dusty Rose, take me home to the yawn. I belong. No, we can't see the link. I can pull up the Discord, throw it in the Discord, and I'll throw it up on screen. Let me pull up the Discord right now. But yeah, if you throw it in the Discord in the like future makes or whatever area, and I will throw it up on screen. The
while you're
Davo top crochet pattern. Yeah, unbiggin me. This is my first time trying this hat on. I feel like it is very. Is it just me or am I like the cutest thing ever?
I like it. I like the way it looks. It looks really good. When fall comes, that needs to be one of the things you wear to try to sell your hats.
Yes. That's why I'm trying to make more witch hats, because I'm like, I have plenty of time right now. I've got 2 months until August, until October. And then people should still keep buying them, I think, through November, just because I live in a witchy area.
Well, I got my I finally put the AKA hat in an envelope to mail to your cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And your father said to me, which it didn't occur to me, because I was like, should I use one of these boxes? Because we've got all these boxes from, things being shipped to the house. I'm like, should I use one of these boxes? But if they, send it by weight, that's going to cost you more. Or can you get like envelopes because he gets a discount at FedEx. So he was going to send it via FedEx rather than spending the gas to drive over there. Okay, this is the top Ronald was thinking I'm making. Do my old lady stare. Don't make fun of me. Stop it.
Too late.
Stop it. Oh, I like that.
I like it. It's like a...
See, I like that for me and put a tank top or a sports bra under it.
I don't know how I feel about that. This
I
bottom
like
edge.
that. I think that's interesting. I think that
you like the rough edge? I don't.
Yeah, I think that gives it interest instead of just making it a regular shirt. And you know me, usually I'm not real crazy about all the rough edges and the strings hanging loose and the fake holes or rips in the thing, but that's
I like the fake holes.
Ooh. The ones that look like ripped jeans.
They got all kinds of in shirts.
They've got some nice patterns. The crocheting, maybe I should look them up sometime.
I wish this boy had worn a different color shirt under this, so we can see the definition of it more.
But I mean, he's styling it the way people would probably wear it. Yeah, I like it.
That's true.
I like that. I wonder if your brother would wear that. Probably not.
Ronald says, but it has negative reviews and it's $6. $6 is on the high end for patterns, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of patterns, remember did we talk about this last week about my Lion brand order?
Did we talk
about that? Okay, so I was gonna make a hat. Lion brand sent me because I'm on their mailing list. They There was a hat, and they had their Lion Brand Rewind on yarn on sale, and it was part of the kit. And so I was going to go ahead and buy that.
Oh, I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah, I wanted to try that. I wanted to try that yarn anyway, and for a hat, because a couple of the other patterns that I had seen, if they weren't using raffia or something, they were using Lion Brand Rewind, because apparently if you make a hat with that, you can smush it up, shove it in your suitcase, and bring it back out and fluff it up, and the hat looks great. And I don't have to put wire in the brim or anything. So I wanted to try this yarn. Well, they had it on sale, and so it was $8, and then add the shipping, and it ended up being $15 altogether, and the pattern was free. Okay. And then they sent, so I was waiting, and I was expecting to get it last Saturday, and then they sent me an email saying, oh, well, we're out of the yarn, so here's your refund. And they refunded me just the yarn. I'm like, wait a minute, the pattern was free.
Nothing was shipped.
So nothing was shipped, because the pattern was emailed to me already. I have the pattern. So you need to give me back my $7, because it was like $6, because it was $6 shipping plus $1 in tax. And they already refunded the yarn. So I didn't buy anything. So I emailed them, and then they did finally
pay you.
They sent me the other back yesterday, which is fine. But I still have the pattern, so I went to put the pattern on my
Kindle?
On Ravelry.
Oh.
You know, to put it in my little, because I have little bundles on Ravelry of when they started with the bundles. I started using it to put, okay, I'm interested in these patterns for myself. These are all the blanket patterns I like. These are all, just categorizing the patterns that I like, that I might want to eventually do. So I was going to put that in my hat pattern thing and put it in the library, so that I know that I already actually own this pattern. And I went to put it, and it said the pattern is $6. But Lion Brand gave it to me for free.
But where? So on the Lion Brand website, did it say it was free?
Yeah, apparently she has a deal with Lion. She has like an association or whatever with Lion Brand, so they paid her to include it for free in their kits to sell the yarn. So I got it for free. But if you just want to go buy the pattern, it's $6.
Look at you getting the deals.
But now I'm also pissed, because I went back on Lion Brand, and they have the yarn back in stock again. I'm like, could you not have waited 2 minutes?
Yeah, they could have sent you an email offering you the option of you can wait for us to restock, or you can use your money back.
Order? What happened to back order? Back order used to be a thing where they would contact you and say, okay, this is on back order. You're gonna have to wait a minute. Meaning they, they're still making some at the factory. I know what back order is. I could have waited. I'm an old lady. I remember when it used to take you 6 weeks to get an order. You didn't have to rush. But they said, no, it's out of stock, because it was on sale for like $4 a skein. It's out of stock. And so I went back. They've got it back in, but now the price is $6 a skein. So they just
like, we got all our popularity.
They just didn't want to give it to me for $4 a skein. So they just gave me back my money.
Joke's on them. You got a pattern for free.
And so, but I still want to make the pattern with that yarn, and I was hoping to make it before vacation.
And you said it's the Lion Brand Respun?
Rewind. And so you can get it for, if I bought it from Lion Brand, it would be like $10. 10 something and change, but then I'd have to pay the $6 in shipping again, so I'm still paying $17 to get it to me. Or I could buy a pack that has 3 skeins in it. I don't really need 3 skeins, I only need 2, but I could buy a pack with 3 skeins in it that's only $13 from Walmart, and I don't have to pay any shipping because with Walmart, we already do the Walmart Plus thing for our groceries. So they would ship it to me for free or included or whatever. I don't have to pay extra shipping, in other
It's
words.
the rewind, not the respun, right?
Yeah, rewind. Yeah.
Okay. I keep trying to pull it up so we can see it. Is it a tape yarn?
Yeah, it's a tape yarn. It's a tape yarn.
Oh. Let me.
And so I'm like, well,
if I can get it.
I mean, $13. I don't really need 3 skeins. $13 because it doesn't really make sense. But then, because if you buy it individual skeins, either on Walmart or Amazon, it's like $8.30 a skein. So it's way more than it is on Lion Brand. But $13 for 3 skeins is a good deal.
Not tapeworm, Ronald. A tape yarn is just a yarn that is. Ooh, do I have any? I've got some tape yarn somewhere, but I think it's packed away. It's flat like a ribbon. Yeah, so like a lot of t-shirt yarn that you'll see will be like a tape yarn because it's flat, and so it works up a different way. Whereas like normal yarn is round, it'll be ribbon flat.
Yeah, if I buy that 3-pack, then it comes out to be about $4.30 a skein. Which, if you buy the skeins individually on Walmart, it's like $8.30 for an individual skein. Same thing on Amazon. So, I don't really need 3 skeins, but it still comes out cheaper buying it that way than buying it from Lion Brand or from. I just don't know what I do with the extra skein. But this is the hat. I finished Aunt Joanne's hat as well last week.
I'm breaking everything. So, everything's broken.
Don't break things. I finished Aunt Joanne's hat.
There we go.
So
ooh, cute.
I don't look good in hats, so I hope this looks better on her than it does on me.
I think it looks fine on you.
This was just a quickie picture because I was originally gonna send a picture to her of the hat, but then I must admit I don't want to be rejected and say, oh, that's not the hat I was thinking of, or that's not turned out the way I thought. But there's a better look at what the colors look like.
Yeah, it's washed out in that other picture. The other picture shows well how it sits on the head.
Yeah.
The colors somehow got washed out.
Yeah. So that's a good representation of the colors. I don't think Red Heart makes this yarn anymore. This is Red Heart Super Saver. I think it is in the color Monet. That's what I think it is. But also the hat is called the Summer Lovin' Crochet Sun Hat. This is the pattern that I got for free.
Okay.
And so I really want to make this hat
for
myself, I think.
Yeah, I would like to see
even though
how that works up in the ribbon yarn.
Though I don't look good in hats, but that's the way they're showing the model wearing it, how it sits. So, but it's a new pattern. It was just released in July, so there's not anybody
like
wearing it. Yeah, there's not any, because usually I want to look. To be honest, I like to look and see. I like to look and see if somebody else has made it in a different yarn, so that maybe I don't have to buy that yarn. I can see how it looks in a different yarn and see how it turned out.
So the first one, the one that she had the picture of, is the one that she made. The second one, the one that was like hanging up on the wall, that's the pattern picture of the one that she wants to make.
Yes. That's the one I want to make with the
ribbon yarn.
With the ribbon yarn, with the tape yarn. So I need to, if I'm going to do this, I need to go ahead and order it from Walmart soon. Because my brain is telling me it's cheaper to get it from Walmart, but then the other half of my brain is telling me, but you don't need 3 skeins, and really the yarn is only $10, and the rest you would be paying is shipping. But I'm like, whether it's shipping or not, it's money, and maybe I'll find something else to do with that other 1 skein. You know what I mean? I'm going back and forth in my head about this.
Yeah, I've been trying to find something to do with some t-shirt yarn because Joann's has, I'm all turned away from the mic looking for crochet hook. Joann's has a bunch of t-shirt yarn in their store right now.
Okay,
and I've been trying to find something.
Is Joann's the one that does big twists?
Yes, Joann's has big twists.
Because I saw somebody on TikTok doing big twist t-shirt yarn, and I was like, I wonder how much that costs, because maybe that would work for this hat.
Maybe I'll make a video of me just walking through my Joann's and showing all the stuff that they have and just put it up.
People do it. People do it.
Yeah, one of my favorite people that's friggin' alt knots. Half of the videos that I watch by her are her just walking through her Joann's and saying, this is the stuff that they have, or her Summerween videos of like, we have a code orange. Michael's has all of their Halloween stuff out now.
And other than that, all I've got, so I finished those hats off because I was going to go back to my project, my crochet along. And then I was like, well, I only have, when I looked back at the pattern, I was like, I only have 3 more rows to do on Aunt Joann's hat. So let me just finish that. So I finished that. I've got both hats in bags to be sent. Your father recommended that we just use those little mailers from Amazon. I was like, yeah, but that's going to be tacky, whatever. And then I looked up online because, I like to have confirmation for things. I looked up online. Apparently, a lot of people reuse their Amazon mailers. Mm-hmm. So, the bubble envelope things. And I had 2 of them just sitting right next to me from whatever we'd gotten recently. And all they have on them, other than the branding that is, printed on the thing, that label peels off very easily. And then you can just put your own mailing label on it, no problem, and fold it over and tape it. Perfect. So, great. So that's what I'm using for those 2. And I started back working on this yesterday while I was watching Ronald teach people to play King's Corner.
King's Corner! Did you guys play King's Corner on the stream?
So, I finished the black at least, and I'm got a few more rounds of this white, and then it'll be almost time to sew the halves together and get on the sleeves. But I'm honestly, I'm telling you, I have to rally because I'm at the point now, because I took a break. Do you really think they liked King's Corner, Ronald? Or were they just being nice?
And did you call it King's in the Corner, or did you say King's Corner?
He did say King's Corner at least once.
Good.
That's what I'm trying to remind myself, Ronald. I've been distracted by other things. I took a break to do those hats because I needed, a stress project for when I left to the family barbecue, and then it took me a while to get back to this, but I have to remember we've only got about 3 weeks left. Your accent came out more Jersey. We've only got about 3 weeks left until vacation. So I really want to get this finished and have time to try it on with the dress, so that if I have to change my mind and put something else with the dress, at least I'll know before the last minute.
Speaking of which, I'm pivoting again because I looked at the dress. So anybody who was there on Friday saw that I found a new dress that I was going to crochet that was going to be a lot faster. It wasn't going to take as much sewing and stuff because I am just rapidly running out of time to make something for the cruise. And I was looking at that dress and looking at it, and I'm like, this is a summer cruise, and that is very much a winter dress. And I just don't, something about it wasn't gelling with me. I found a different pattern. So what I'm going to do is, instead of making a full dress, I still have my white top that I made last year that I finished on the boat. And so what I'm going to do is just make a skirt.
You can make like a black skirt, and then that would be black and white.
Which is kind of what I wanted to do anyway. Yes, and so I found, I never bought that dress pattern. I didn't buy it yet. But if I can get it to load, please load. I gotta close out everything. Because
while you're trying to get
Spectrum
that
is like
to load,
girl.
While you're trying to get that to load, can I comment that I had a couple crocheters come up? I don't get a lot of crocheters come up on my TikTok, FYP, but I had a couple come up yesterday, and I'm like, you are strangling your crochet hook with this yarn. Okay, you are crocheting so tight that it's like, I can't even explain it to you. Like, okay, I just crochet nice. Do you see how it just glides? Nice. I don't know if you can see just how relaxed I am. These people who were crocheting yesterday, this one woman who was crocheting yesterday was like, I mean, she wasn't making the noises, but I can hear them in my brain. She's just like, and she was talking about how people are just,
that's how I
don't want to pay for the things that they're making, and crochet is made by hand, and you need to pay people to, and I mean, Lord, I'm surprised that yarn didn't break in her hand. And then the other lady that I was watching, she was using the tiniest hook. She was doing like a DK yarn, and I swear she was using a 3mm hook, and she was like, I mean, just the tightest that she could possibly, and then she kept messing up and having to pull it back out. I'm like, baby, if you would take your stranglehold off of that yarn and hook, maybe get a bigger hook, you wouldn't have to start over.
You loosen up a little, girl.
You were so tight. So tight. And she was making a granny square, and you know how granny squares usually have a little bit of space or something in them, and I mean, she was doing the chain 3 and everything, but there were no holes in that thing because she was so tight.
So the first one that you were talking about, where she's like shoving and forcing away, that's how I feel working with Bernat yarn when I'm making like a lot the Bernat blanket yarn, and I'm making a lot
when I was watching her, I thought about you talking about Bernat.
Because I feel like I'm in a fight with the yarn, which is why I'm trying to slowly transition to the Sweet Snuggles Light from Michaels, because it is just so much more buttery, and I don't feel like I'm fighting it. But I found the pattern. I was trying to pull it up in Ribbler originally, but I had to go straight to the page because Ribbler just wasn't wanting to load all of Ribbler for me. So this is the skirt. It's called the Fairy Square skirt. Because I wanted a square skirt.
This is cute.
Yes, I wanted a square skirt.
This pattern is quite simple, therefore suitable for beginner crocheters. Oh yeah, because I can see it's pretty much just one stitch, but the way it's laid out gives it the interest.
Yeah, because it's a square, then it's got those points, and so it has like the different shaped ends. So I think I'm gonna do that, and then
is this like a made to measure?
I believe so. Let me see if I can open this up.
Stitch sharpish help. Mini maxi.
So maybe
I can see this being a really nice
made to measure.
Okay, cool. I can see this being a really nice scrap project for me. Mm-hmm. And how much is this pattern?
This one is
like $2.
$2.
Is this on Ribbler, or can I buy it somewhere else? Or
it's only on Ribbler. I was looking because I tried to pull up my Ribbler page. What just happened when my internet was like going out? Hey, Sin. We are talking about our patterns right now. I am drinking tea from. I'm gonna pull it up. Let's let me embiggen. Let's embiggen from the Asheville Tea Company. My lavender limoncello tea. But we're talking about our
The
patterns that
crochet
we're making for the cruise.
The crochet is going, Synth.
Yeah, we're talking about our patterns that we're making for the cruise, and I am behind.
I like that pattern. You bought that top. Only
Did you buy it
pages.
just now, Ronald? Ronald!
Well, Ronald, you have to let me know how it goes because I am interested in that top.
Same, because I want to make more men's tops.
I'm also interested in that skirt, Maya. So I guess that will be my first Ribbler. So I'll probably contact you later to remind me how to
Ribbler. The thing that I like about Ribbler, we're gonna go right now because I'm in the middle of making a chicken because they're doing a raffle box at the market, so I need to make a chicken real quick. But the thing I like about Ribbler is, especially when you've got it on your phone, that I wish Ravelry and everybody else, like, this is the one thing that I'm like, Ribbler is doing this right and everybody needs to do this, is when you bring up the Ribbler pattern, that means it takes longer for people to put their patterns into Ribbler, but when you have your Ribbler pattern, when you do a row, you tap it and it marks it off. So in the app, it keeps track of where you are. And then also what I accidentally just tapped is like, it says single crochet and the single crochet is underlined. If you click where it says SC and is underlined, it brings up a video that shows you how to do a single crochet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes. So
I just realized I have a new phone. Exactly. That means I can download Ribbler.
You can download Ribbler. Look at you. Sin says, it does strike me as interesting that way back when cruising across the ocean used to be a job. Multiple jobs, actually. Sailors, pirates, privateers. Now it's a vacation.
It is a vacation. It is for us anyway.
Yeah, this is our vacation.
And it is a job for some people.
Yeah, because on the boats, it's at least on Carnival, you will see like somebody will be like, okay, I'm announcing we're doing the karaoke and I'm the person that's leading the karaoke. And then the next time that you see them, they will be on stage in a full costume, singing and dancing and doing this. And then you see them again, they're like, okay, this way, this is the way that you go to get off of the boat, this way. And it's all the same person.
I see you noted, you put on our Google Keep that Ribbler feels like it doesn't have many patterns.
I keep getting frustrated because I like in my head, Ravelry has the patterns that are all of the like old staple patterns that people have liked for years and patterns that people will keep coming back to. And in my head, Ribbler has the like hot new, this is what the girlies are doing on TikTok, this is what the girlies are doing on Instagram.
Ribbler makes me think of TikTok and Instagram and the crocheters who are 20 years old and don't know how to read a pattern because they crochet off of YouTube videos.
Exactly. But they have the hot new young stuff that like is trendy right now. So if I want to make something trendy, I want to go to Ribbler. But every time I open Ribbler, when I go to, I feel like most people don't use Ravelry this way. But when I go to Ravelry, I will go to Ravelry and I will either like search a thing, or sometimes I'll go to Ravelry, go to patterns in advanced search, not type a single thing into that search bar, make sure I've got it set for free patterns, and then put it on random order and just look. Mm-hmm. Like I've searched nothing. It is just showing me literally the list of every pattern that they have in a random order and just like look through the stuff. But I feel like every time, no matter when I open it, every time I open the Ribbler app, I feel like I see the same like 20 patterns.
Yeah.
Like it feels like there are only 20 patterns on the app. And I'm like, I
think that's why I never really investigated much of Ribbler beyond. I forgot what I was doing that made me bring up Ribbler to you.
Well, since you're here, we're the girlies. We're the girlies. We will inform you on what the other girlies are doing.
But I tried, I think I read about Ribbler like in an article or something, and then I tried and I looked at it for like maybe 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. And it just felt, and the few times I've tried to go back to it, it just feels like I don't know. For one thing, I feel like I never get to the clothes. Every time I pull
It's
it
all
up,
amigurumis.
I'm seeing amigurumi all the time.
Yeah, I also, because I was trying to find like a top to see if I wanted to, or a dress, and it feels like their selection, probably because Ravelry's been around for like 400 years and Ribbler has been around for 10 minutes, and so Ribbler doesn't have like the back stock of stuff that Ravelry has been building up this entire time. And so I go and I'm like, okay, there are 10 dresses total, like
Yeah, everything on Ribbler seems to be I feel like I see a bunch of stuff that does not seem useful to me. Like I see a lot of amigurumi, I see a lot of like little bookmarks and little things you can hang off of your backpack, and just little fiddly things that I guess would be cute, but I want to see more practical stuff. Because I don't make adornments and things. If I'm going to crochet, I'm going to make a blanket, I'm going to make a hat, I'm going to make, a scarf, something that somebody can use. That's why one of my main complaints about Ravelry is that, oh my God, the shawls. We are overrun by shawls. Who's wearing these shawls?
No one wears shawls anymore, but everyone keeps making shawl patterns.
Because shawls are fun for knitters and crocheters to make.
We need to work on our branding to make people wear them.
As far as fashion, people don't wear them, but they're fun for knitters and crocheters to make.
Literally.
Having said that, I am looking for a shawl pattern to make with the leftover of the yarn that I bought last year for my top last year.
Oh, since those people in the desert wear shawls, the problem is we live nowhere near the desert.
True that.
I know what we need to do. I know how we can solve the shawl pattern. Someone get in contact with Taylor Swift's designer.
I knew you were going to say Taylor Swift. If Taylor Swift wore a shawl, everybody would be wearing shawls.
But
yeah, because Aunt Connie, was enamored of my top last year, so I thought I would use the rest of that yarn to make her like a shawl, because I could see her wearing a shawl over her make more depth. I could see her wearing a shawl with one of her evening outfits for the cruise, so I thought I would make her one. I don't know if I'll have time to finish it before, because that's the other thing. I want to finish this, because this was the main project for vacation. I got 3 weeks. I want to finish this, but if I have time, I also want to finish the head wrap I was making. I want to try to at least start a shawl for Aunt Connie, but I haven't even picked a pattern. I'm thinking I want to make a virus shawl, because that used to be the hotness 15, 20 years ago, and I never made one. So I feel like I want to make one now. But also, I'm going to... this is my last yarny thought, and then we can take the last few minutes to talk about something else. But I am... you got hard out at 12?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to Aunt Terry's this weekend.
Ooh.
So I need a project to take with me. I was debating either taking my coloring books or a crochet project. I am not...
If you make something that was the hotness at any point in history and then you wait long enough, it will eventually become the hotness again.
This is true. Granny squares did come back.
And for what reason? I made all those granny squares out of that granny square yarn, and I still just like... I like the granny stitch.
I thought you were going to make a bag.
I was, and I just never got around to it, because guess who doesn't want to sew anything?
True. I still haven't made anything with my granny square yarn, so I could take that with me on vacation, but I feel like that would make me concentrate too much. I don't know. I was thinking about either taking a coloring book with me, or because there's always a time where we're kind of sitting around talking, and I want something to do with my hands, and I don't know if I should take some crochet or take a coloring book.
I think I'm gonna bring some yarn to make witch hats. Maybe I can leave with 1 or 2 hats done.
Bring yarn where?
On the cruise.
Oh, you're talking about the cruise. I'm talking about going to Aunt Terry's house this weekend.
Oh, sorry. I jumped ahead.
You jumped ahead.
I jumped ahead. I was like, it is September.
Because I don't want to take this project that I'm working on for the cruise because it's gotten to a big, unwieldy part. Yeah. You know? Because right now I'm on this last mindless part, and then pretty soon I'm going to have to concentrate again to work on the sleeves and whatnot, the sleeves and the collar. So I don't, and plus it's just gotten big, so I don't know if I want to take it with me. Very funny, Ron. I mean, Synth. So I don't know if I want to take, or I might just take another skein of variegated yarn and do another one of those bucket hats. But yep. So we're on our way out. Any shower thoughts we want to mention before we leave?
Are there any in the list? If not, then I can bring up a Reddit knitting story real quick.
You can bring up a Reddit knitting story. Other than Apple does not. Oh, have you heard of the bitch button on your phone?
What are you talking about?
I read this, one of the books I was reading, she was saying, well, she made a passing comment about a bitch button, like people know what that is. About, you know, at least he didn't use the bitch button when I tried to call him. And I'm like, what is the bitch button? Apparently, on some people's phones, you can press, like if somebody's calling you, you can just press the side button and it will just ignore the call and hang up on them. That's called the bitch button.
That's just
apparently
the ignore button. That's what I do if I press volume down on my phone.
They can see from their end that you ignored them, so they call it the bitch button.
Thank you. Sorry, he was letting me know we need to leave soon. But yeah, I thought that was every phone. You just press the volume down button and it ignores the call.
Remember the part where I told you I just do the basic functions that I need to do on my phone and I don't explore things? I did not know that was a thing on your phone.
Yeah, I didn't know it was called the bitch button.
Well, because apparently on their end they can see that you ignored them, so that makes you a bitch, I guess.
Well.
But I guess that's the end for us.
Yeah, I pulled up a story. It's got I could read it real quick, and we could look at it, or we could save it for next time.
Why don't we, since it really is 12 right now, why don't we save it for next time?
Well,
so am I doing the outro, or are you doing?
Oh yeah, I did the intro. You do the outro.
Okay. Well, this has been the Coffee Klatsch. We thank you for joining us. If you like what I just read what Sid said. If you liked hanging out with us, then hit this like button. Or if you're watching it on demand later and you enjoyed what we were doing, hit the like button. If you want to have more of us, hit the subscribe button. If you want to, so that we will just land in your little subscriptions column. If you want to be notified the very second that we go live, which next time will be Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for games and shenanigans, then hit the notification bell so that it will notify you. Otherwise, thanks for hanging with us. If you've gotten this far in the video, leave in the comments what should we leave in the comments? Leave a phone emoji, because I finally have a new phone.
Leave a phone emoji. Or leave a dog emoji if you heard my dog story earlier.
Leave a phone or a dog or both from the top of the thing. Otherwise, thanks for hanging with us. Ciao, Bella.
Bye. I'm ending the stream. I'm clicking it. It's ending.